We're always faced with fear, some kind of fear that comes in and prevents us from moving forward. But the minute, the very New York minute, that we can just realize that if we decide to move forward, then the fear goes away. Today we'll be looking at stuff that some of you will know. I don't pretend that I'm going to provide you with totally brand new information, but it's information that's probably going to drive the nail a little deeper into your knowledge. And really, it's really not about what knowledge we have, it's what we do with the knowledge that we have. Hopefully, I'll bring you one or two small ideas that you can take home and go to the bank with it eventually. Carol was saying, let's go left brain. I'm going to push you to the right brain as well, because we know we're right brain people, and we sometimes have to tap into the left brain in order to get this business running, right? Does that make sense? I will rock some of your ideas, preconceived ideas about business and photography. It's a little different, but it's not rocket science. It is not rocket science. We're always faced with fear, some kind of fear that comes in and prevents us from moving forward. But the minute, the very New York minute, that we can just realize that if we decide to move forward, then the fear goes away. So that's why I'm inviting you to just look at the options of, what if I don't move forward? What will happen? What will be the consequences of me not moving forward? Am I happy with the way that things are now? If the answer is yes, well, carry on. Same recipe, you got a good recipe, carry it on. But if there's the slightest doubt of, maybe I should improve my situation, by golly, you got to do something. Now, I don't want to bore you with where I come from and whatever, but I'll just give you a couple minutes to show you what's my background somewhat. I'm basically a photographer that started in 1974 in my business. But previous to that, I did 10 years in the military. Canadian Air Force, this is where I learned my trade in photography. I enjoyed 10 good years there, but after the 10 years, I think it was time for me to move on and get something a little more challenging. Then I opened my business, and over the course of 25 years, I went from 400 square foot studio, doing everything, to a specialized commercial, industrial, and graphic arts studio with 16,000 square feet. That was big. Started with one staff. When I left, it was 23 staff. Now, if you imagine the payroll on that and just the rent on 16,000 square feet, it took 25 years to get there. And I'm not saying you have to be there. In 1999, there was an offer on the table from my partner, who I've been with for 19 years. And it was a good 19 years. Then at one time, we sort of parted ways in our options. Then he put an offer on the table. I had to make a decision. Was I scared? Totally. Because this was my baby. I started at 25 years. As a matter of fact, it was the 25th year. I never got a chance to celebrate 25 years in my studio, because he put an offer on the table. And I guess he put some money on it, and it didn't get as high as I wanted, but I figured, what's my peace of mind worth? So the quality of life in our studio was pretty high. Our employee turnaround was extremely low, and we had everybody wanted to work for us, and we had resumes on our desk about this thick. But the way I used to hire people, and I'm talking to the folks at the school, the way I used to hire people was basically through an interview. They all came in with their big portfolio cases. Now they bring an iPad. But at that time, it was big portfolio cases. And I would be spending maybe 15, 20 minutes, half an hour maybe, speaking with them, not even viewing the portfolio. I didn't care. It was about the attitude. How could these people fit into my team? It was all attitude. Because the technical stuff, I knew which school they were coming from. I knew the curriculum, which was good. So I said, I can take it from there and bring you into my studio, but you got to have the attitude. And that was a big difference. What I was looking for is initiative. What can you bring to my studio? And this is one thing that if you're going to go out and hunt for a job, you need to bring in there and say, this is what I can bring to your studio. This is one of the things that students put into your mind. Study the photographer that you would like to work with and bring this knowledge. This is what I can bring to your studio. And leave it at that. The photography, you've learned photography in the schools. Technically, if you're graduated, you're good technically. But you need to move forward from that. But the attitude is what brought us here. If you ask anyone that's got the same color hair as I have, that they built a team. If they build a team in their business, it's because they have to find the right people, the right scouts. They have to be the right scout for those folks. And so what would be, because this is going to be a participation workshop. We're not just going to sit there and listen to this guy with a funny accent talk. I want you to work. Now, the first question is for you today, and you can open your binder and write on the cover, on the top of the cover, write, what is your definition of success? What is it to be for you at any stage of your career? What is your definition of success? Now, it could relate to business and it could relate to lifestyle. Go for it. You got 2 minutes. Yes? Okay. So you got their hand up. It's you.
I was looking for the guys behind me.
No.
My definition of success is being financially independent when I turn 65.
When you turn 65? That's a long time ago. That's a long time from now, is it? Well, that's a good one. That's a great. There we go. Thank you. And who else would like to share? Go ahead.
I have two. I have
You have to look my number. All right, I'm good here.
peace of mind and freedom to grow.
That's good. Anybody agree? Would agree to that? Yeah. Peace of mind. Because if you're not at peace with yourself when you're doing your business, just like Steve was saying, it's hard work. We just got, or else if you're not passionate about it, if you don't have somewhat of a peace of mind into it, and that's what I was faced with that decision years ago when there was an offer on the table. I said, where's the peace of mind? Does it rely still in that studio with just 4 walls? Or is it back downscaling, like went from 23 employees to me? Woo, that was like big change over 25 years. Thank you, Bill.
No, thank you.
Or else, did you have something to say?
Sure. Time with my family and friends. You know, the ability to make enough money that you still have time to be with your family and friends.
That's right. Because who works less than 40 hours a week here? 1, 2. That was a trick question, was it? So I think, thank you, Marty. Thank you. So the thing is we know this is hard work. This is hard work. But what's sometimes is hard work is because it's worth it. It's the reward after all is amazing. So let's continue. What do we got here for today? What we have is we're going to starting out fresh. I'd like for you to just stop the train. Stop the moving train, the runaway train today, and let's start fresh. One of the challenges that we're facing today in photography is selling the value. The thing is, we feel that we're selling photography, but we're not selling photography. We sell what photography brings to people. That's what we're selling. So stop selling photography. Sell what it brings to people. The next challenge is putting a stupid price on it, because there's prices all over the map, from free to lots. Where do you want to be? I'll provide you with a system, my system. It's not a unique system. It's something you say, oh, it's pretty simple. So we got to keep it simple. The next one would be to create collections. I believe today the future in photography is to create groupings of products, bundling products, because people are looking for deals. We've gone through a pretty deep recession over the last 5 years, 5 or 6 years. It's creeping back up, right? We can feel this in the business. However, people are still looking for deals because over 5 years they've been looking for deals and deals and deals. So we have to provide them with a perception of deals. Beating the competition. Are you aware there's a little more increasing competition? Are you sort of, oh, is this the new knowledge for you? Incredible. I think in 1990, I was PPOC president in Canada, and we had done a study. There was about 8,000 or 9,000 photographers registered in Canada. In the US, there was about 90,000. I wonder what the count would be today. I think it's probably pushing up to 200,000 or 300,000.
That's just in Tampa.
That's just there you go. So
Not counting the billions of unregistered.
that's exactly it. So we do have to know who these people are, not to shoot them down, but to make sure what they are, what they stand for, and how can we set up a totally different path. That's who we are, and we're not in the same game at all. We're not doing the same business plan. And lastly is lining those clients, those precious clients, those that have a hard time understanding what the perception of value of photography is. Now, who is responsible at this point in time for the decrease in perception of value in photography? Who is responsible for that?
Everyone.
Photographers, number one. The clients, number two. But the clients are reacting to the photographer's lack of value into their work. That's the big problem. So we have to look in the mirror and say, how can I fix that? One of the ideas that I'd like to share with you today, let's do a little bit of brainstorm. Let's complete that sentence. Wouldn't it be great if? 2 minutes, complete that sentence. Wouldn't it be great if? You can come up with 3 different ideas. Wouldn't it be great if I could do this? I could learn that. I could provide this to my family. How would? So go. 3 minutes. Who else would like to share? Who else would like?
I've got 2.
Okay. Yes.
If the high school senior market was open to independent studios instead of
Amen.
Yes.
and if potential clients recognized and appreciated the difference between quality portraiture and snapshotism.
Those are pretty heavy ones, eh? Now, what can we do to make that happen? The first one, Kevin, that this high school market would be open.
Yeah.
I know there's giants out there, people that got lots of zeros before the dot, and I know these. Yeah. But the thing is, how can you do it locally in order to get in there, get your feet in there? Persistence.
You gotta go after
The contacts, right? We got to find who in our circle of influence can we meet one-on-one and then open the door to maybe sit in front of a student board or the school board or something, and then open the door maybe. You never know. Sometimes we give up because someone else tried it before, it didn't work. But maybe someone else was not persistent enough in getting the job done. So what's stopping you from moving forward? If you get a first no, what's the next step? It's next. Go to another one. Go above. Go a different route. Find a different way to get there. Will you be successful? I can't guarantee it. One thing for sure, you will not be successful if you don't do anything. That makes sense? Difficult sometimes. It's hard to kick us in the butt to get going because, oh well, I'll call someone, he didn't say it, or didn't do it, didn't try it. There's 5